Okay, I've been looking around in the version 7 program for a few things. One thing I want to show you before I use this pattern is services, technical support, controller definition. We notice that there's some numbers that are not familiar with us. Speed, we're used to seeing 65 as the default. The default here is 13. So I wanted to know something about that, so I clicked on help. Okay, well, I'll just save this and get out of it. Save it and close it. Okay, went to the manual, and here I looked in this part here. It says user preferred settings, and here is something that says the controller definition form contains the user preferences. Speed is set to a number in the scale of 1 to 20. The default is set to 13 because that seems to be the optimum balance between pace and stitch quality. So that's what that means. We no longer have this, what we're used to seeing, the speed of the 65. So I'll just exit out of that and go back to our screen here and look at this pattern. So if I set this up in repeat patterns, this is the repeat patterns icon. And you'll notice that something pops up over here. It says click a point using the head or the mouse. So now it's different than what we used to seeing. So now I have to click a point somewhere. It doesn't matter where. I'll just click a point and it puts that pattern on the screen. Then over here it gives us the details. I can set my point that I want to use for as the reference point on the quilt, and I always use upper left corner, and we have the same options we had in all other instances. We can change that for different operations. So upper left for edge to edge works for me. We don't normally use this horizontal and vertical here. Go down. This tells us the size of this pattern. It is 25.17, 14.11 high. Right now it only has one repeat, one row, but we're going to change that. Here's our total. Move this over, we can see set total size. Here's the total width. We can put that in this block. So maybe I want this just to be 60 inches for demo purposes, and the total length of the quilt to be 60 inches also. So I'll put that in, and that is going to place all of that on the screen. But you can see the spacing here is a little bit too spaced out. So to get to this on my screen here, I can set the spacing, but I need to collapse something here so it has room to do that. Bring this down again and bring up my spacing. Okay, here's my spacing, set spacing, vertical. I'm going to try -1 as far as the spacing here, and just go over, put my mouse over here, and you can see it's going to change the spacing. So I wouldn't want it any closer than the spacing right here. That gives us an idea of what this is going to look like. Now, I am not personally very fond of this stuff here. I don't know why that's on there. That just doesn't, that's in my way. I don't like it. So I click OK, and this all goes away on this right hand side, and that is what we have right there on the screen, and that would stitch out like that. If I select everything and find my select all icon up here, it takes a little bit to get used to all of this stuff, and Oh man, I don't see it. Let's see, what is this here? That's paste, copy, all right there. View all. Oh my. So I think that's just view all, but I want to select everything, and I don't see it. Now I've got it. It's right next to this view all. It says all, and it says select all. This is something everybody's going to have to learn. Okay, so that selects everything on the screen. Here it gives me the size, the width is 60, the height is 59.99, which is 60 inches as far as I'm concerned. So that is what we have in repeat patterns on this. It's different, but it really isn't that much different. So I don't know. You'll just have to get used to it. Okay, so let's look at the edge-to-edge mode, and that's this icon right here. Like I said, I'm not too I don't know. I'm not too impressed with all of these icons. So I click on that. It gives me a new quilt group, and now with the mouse we are able to click the upper left, the upper right, and get this where it's on the same line. We'll click the lower right. Just have to give myself plenty of room here to do this. Okay, that should work right there. Now that's what we have, and over on the right, as it was in the repeat patterns mode, we just have all of this information. It says enter quilt length. So what does it say? Set total size. This is the quilt length right here, and I'm just going to set that at 60. Okay, we go on down. This gives us just tells us what the size of the pattern is. We need to go on down some more and find some more settings. Let's see, what do we want? Alternating, we don't want any. So you notice over here now it put all of that on the screen, but we need to close this gap right there. And it's the same as when I did this in the repeat patterns mode, is that I want to collapse some of this so I can see I don't want to get out of there. Okay, horizontal and vertical spacing. If I put in -1 right there, and you can see how it changed the spacing, but it also changed the height and the width of the pattern, you see, to fit this quilt. And if I go and up here, now that I know where select all is, I click on select all. It was selected, and what does it give me? The total width of this particular quilt, the way I clicked this box, is 52 inches and basically 60 inches. But it adjusted the pattern to fit that area. So now all I would have to do is click OK, and there it is, and everything on the right hand side is gone, and I can use my mouse and scroll wheel and change how this fills the screen. So you say, okay, how do I save this? Well, right there is save project, right? Then if I click on that, I've already named this previously since I've been working with it. I named it Repeat Patterns Mode and E2E Mode Setup 1, and this is the 4th month, the 2nd day of 2017. So that is where everything is stored. So I go up here. Let's say I go and I would have gone and looked at some other patterns or something. Click here on patterns and it gives all of this stuff. Well, there's one pattern here that's highlighted, and let's say I want to get rid of all of this stuff. Just click here on project and it takes away all of the other patterns and leaves the pattern I have for this project selected there. So I'm trying to simplify this for you. So I hope maybe this will give you some ideas or help you. And as I go along, I'll go into different areas. If you have something you want to see, send me an email or something, and I'll try to figure it out.